well. It's a bringing together of people who have influence and people who are living in poverty.
And we've become close colleagues and friends and try to work together to make a difference.
What it does, it looks at the problem of poverty and it looks at it from the inside out.
It's a place where people can leave their assumptions outside.
And it's just so special because what it does is it listens.
I've never experienced anything like it before, where you are meeting people that you wouldn't ordinarily meet.
It's about making a difference in people's lives and just listening to people.
I think it's an amazing organisation. It's given me the chance to have my voice heard.
I think it's also almost like a family, to be quite honest. I think if I hadn't had the Poverty Truth Commission for the last 18 months or however long it's been, I think my life would have been very different.
I believe in social justice. I believe in an equal and more fair society.
So there was a bit of curiosity that took me there. But also I really genuinely felt that there was something good going to come out of it.
This was different because I spent my whole life at meetings talking about how do we address poverty and how do we improve health. And this felt much more real, like you were really exploring the issues in a different way.
And I agreed with the principles of what you were doing, so that's why I joined.
Well, they're like no other meetings I attend.
When I walk in that door, it doesn't matter who you are.
It's like going round to your friends for a cup of tea.
There's good cake. There's always a lot of laughter, which I really, really like.
It's the highlight of my working week. If there's a Poverty Truth Commission meeting, I know that I'm going to go along and I'm going to meet friends and I'm going to talk about issues affecting my own work and my own life in a real way.
Because everybody in the room always has a chance to contribute, so at every meeting you hear every person's voice at some point.
Often it can be pretty moving when people talk about the reality.
And I think we got to a point where we were able to be quite honest with each other to some degree, and people talked about quite tricky, difficult things, but it never felt unsafe.
You leave that meeting and you take it back home with you. You take to your groups, have a discussion, ideas, take it back to the commission.
I work in government. You see all these statistics about people living in deprived communities, but often you don't actually meet people who are at the sharp end of experiencing inequality.
It's a fast changing picture, and the Commission gives everyone a chance to have an accurate picture of poverty today.
The more people that know how bad things are, for some members, the public maybe get something done eventually. Just keep on hoping.
Because we need to hear from each other.
The good thing about it is that they don't rush people, they let people go at their own pace.
I've thought about things in a way that, although I think about them as issues in my day job all the time, I've thought about them from the perspective of people I now know.
When people have smiled.
Seeing the people I've worked alongside for the past few years shine.
The things that will stay with me are hearing the personal stories from members of the Commission about how poverty has affected them.
They are the things that will stick with me for the rest of my life.
Actually, somebody saying, I have to choose between feeding myself or feeding my children. And that's outrageous in our society, but somebody was sitting beside me, somebody I liked and knew, telling me that's the choice she had to make.
Being accepted. I respect what my wealth was, or how I was dressed, or how I spoke. I was accepted.
And it's the relationships that have been built over the last 4 years, the trust, the mutual respect, and the laughter we have.
I would say that the Poverty Truth Commission has stopped me in my tracks quite a bit.
I'm even more uncomfortable with some of the things that are portrayed in the media because I know that they're wrong.
It's opened my eyes to a lot of things. It's made me feel that I should be counted as a person, not as a number.
Being involved in the Poverty Truth Commission has been a constant reminder that I carry with me about the real people that are affected by policies and how important it is to have their voice right at the start of the development process.
It makes me feel I have some control and some say in what happens in my community, and it takes away the feeling of being powerless.
And in health, which is the sector that I work in general practice, you tend to only really see people when they're in crisis or when they're struggling, and the thing is that people are so much more than the bit of them that's struggling or in crisis, and the Commission embodies that for me.
It's deepened my understanding and deepened my commitment.
It drives every aspect of my work now. It's behind my thinking all the time.
Just a great thing that's happened in my life.